Second race in the playoffs is underway. Road course racing from Watkins Glen coming at you. Kyle Larson with a really good jump so far. He'll go ahead and take the lead as Wallace falls to third right now, maybe even losing a couple more spots. But for now, hanging out in the top 5. You can see Larson up the hill leading Jimmy Johnson early on here. Battle for second is on. You can see Johnson open the door just a little bit. Here comes Bubba Wallace, and Wallace has his hands full with his teammate right now. That's a battle for the third position. Green flag pit stops underway here at lap 32. You can see Larson leading most of the field down. Buscher is going to go ahead and lead him off of pit road. You can see Bell beating him off as well. A couple of two-tire stops right there. Battle for the lead coming off pit road. McDowell is going to go ahead and race the 17. With McDowell just now coming off pit road, this battle's not done. McDowell will slip to second, but to 17 of Buscher will hold on to that lead. Wow. Chris Buscher leading here at the Glen in the closing laps, takes the lead off pit road. You can see McDowell running a defensive line for second right there, as McDowell will hold on to it for now, but you can see the 20 getting very loose right there off the corner. Chris Buscher will come into Watkins Glen and grab the white flag presented by Rafe. Larson, the highest finishing playoff driver, third on the racetrack right now, but Chris Buscher with over a 2-second lead over Michael McDowell will come into the Glen and win his second race of 2023 and second at a road course. Chris Buscher wins at the Glen. Massive victory for RFK and this 17 crew. Almost made the almost made the playoffs, I should say, but just barely missed it. And they'll come in here and they will definitely play upset, with most of the playoff drivers finishing outside the top 10. This will shake up the point standings dramatically.
Somewhere far away awaits your destiny, but you've been led astray, so pave a brand new way. Yeah, guess who's back? Everybody get down. Guess who's back? Yeah, stand up, stand up. The hands of fate have caught me. I'm falling down. Our hearts weren't beating out in harmony when you were here with me, but that's all in the past. Sometimes I think I hear you call my name, takes my breath away, it pulls me right back. I can't sit back any longer and wait. Guess who is back? I'll stare in the eyes of death. Guess who is back? With fire in every breath. Guess who is back? This light hiding in my chest. Guess who is back? We'll share this life for us. Guess who is back? Na 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 na.
Welcome on into the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway for tonight's Bristol 200, the night race at the Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Alan Bailey up in the virtual booth at Bristol here. It is the 18th race of the 2023 season, the third race of the 5-race playoffs here to end our season. But the question is, who will lock themselves into a postseason spot tonight here at Bristol? Let's take a look at the point standings as they are coming into this race. Bubba Wallace has locked himself in to a postseason spot, but as you can see, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, all right now in on points. But you win, you're in. But which one of these drivers is going to lock themselves into a postseason spot? We're about to find out. Pace car pulls off.
Green flag, green flag.
We are green at the Bristol Night Race here in the ARN Thunder Series. You can see Johnson getting a very early lead right there on that outside. He'll pull out. 24's under attack from that 4 car, but Johnson set sail early on. Battle for second is on. Harvick is all over the back bumper of that 24 car. Everybody's running that high lane so far out here at Bristol. William Byron coming into this race 7 points out of a Final Four spot as he looks to go ahead and lock himself into that Final Four, but he has yet to score a victory out here in 2023. Hendrick Motorsports only has a single victory so far in the first 17 races of the season. Very uncharacteristic of them, but you can see Byron out here looking for his first victory, and if he wins tonight here at Bristol, he will lock himself into that Final Four, but will he be able to do it? Teammate battle happening right here between the two 2311 cars, and you can see that 32 going to go ahead and get a nose under his Bubba Wallace teammate. Bubba Wallace, the only driver who has locked himself into the postseason so far. Kurt Busch not racing for a championship, but wouldn't mind grabbing another victory. He picked up the victory at Indianapolis earlier this year at the big track in the Brickyard 400, but Kurt Busch, now running fifth, wants another victory at the Bristol night race to get a little closer to his brother's all-time win streak out here, with 9 victories for Kyle Busch out here at Bristol. Something amiss on Jimmy Johnson's car. 18 laps in, while leading, he's simply faded. He is running 7th right now, lost a lot of spots. Not sure if he got into the wall or if there's a mechanical issue on that 84, but right now Jimmy Johnson off the pace just a little bit, has handed the lead over to Kyle Larson here early on at Bristol. Three-way battle for the lead is starting to heat up as the battle for second is on right now, going down the back straightaway. Kevin Harvick thought better of it, but he's going to go ahead and wind it up on the bottom, trying to get something working. But here comes that 32 of Kurt Busch on the outside, trying to get the lead from our leader, Kyle Larson, here on lap 35. Side by side in 3 and 4. Who's going to get back to the line first? Give it to Kurt Busch. Advantage on the outside. New leader here in the ARN Thunder Series. Battle for second. You can see Harvick on the bottom, Larson on the high side. Little bit of clearance in front of them, but not for long. Harvick's trying to get around this 5 car before they catch the 3 of Dillon. Little mind game right there down the back straightaway. Is he going to clear him? Slide job? No. Doors still open. Harvick clears him and slides on up. New second place car, give it to Kevin Harvick. Now the battle for third is on. Here comes Bubba Wallace, trying to get that third position away from Larson. We'll take you on board Kevin Harvick as he tries to get around Bubba Wallace for third for a little Wraith. Crank it up. That is how quick things happen out here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Want to go ahead and tell you about Wraith. Log on to drinkwraith.com and use promo code ALLEN10 at checkout for 10% off of your entire online order, whether that's one of the bundles, the tubs, or the merch. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine, amino acids, antioxidants, 0 grams of sugar, and only 6 calories per serving. Log on to drinkwraith.com and use promo code ALLEN10 at checkout. Join the cult, drink Wraith. Things are getting dicey, just a little bit, and you can see how aggressive you have to be out here at Bristol in order to make up the ground. You can see Harvick getting very loose out there, and this is just intense racing. 73 laps in as we approach the halfway point out here at Bristol. Johnson slips up just a little bit. He is using that 78 as a pick, trying to keep Bubba Wallace trapped behind that car, and it is working. But you can see that high side just gets a little bit more of a runoff. That's keeping them side by side as Johnson gets the advantage going into the corners. But here comes Kevin Harvick, making this a 3-way battle for the second position. Intense racing out here at Bristol. Johnson trying to clear that lap car and slide up in front of him. Is he going to do it this time by? No, he is not. Harvick is through for third. Wallace slipping to fourth right now, but that is still a side-by-side battle. Halfway right here next time by at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's get you the ARN halftime report. You could see Kurt Busch in the number 32 continuing to pick him up and put him a lap down. He's going to put that 2 car of Austin Cindric a lap down. That is the 19th place car. 18 cars on the lead lap out here at Bristol. Kurt's pretty happy. He's not in the postseason, but he's a guy who's coming into his final season. He would love another victory out at the Bristol Motor Speedway. He picked up a Brickyard 400 victory just a few weeks ago. Massive victory for him. It was one of the crown jewels that he was missing, and even though he already has a Bristol Night Race victory, he definitely wants to get another one. We have to go quite a ways back to find Jimmy Johnson, 2.8 seconds back behind our leader. Johnson, pretty happy. He is a playoff driver, the highest running playoff driver coming into this race. He is outside the Final Four right now, 6 points out. He has a victory this season at Irwindale Speedway, but a victory here at Bristol would lock him into the Final Four as he tries to do that out here tonight. Looking back through the field, we find Kevin Harvick, the 4-car. Harvick is in the Final Four right now, but he is only +1 to the good over the 16 car. He needs a victory in his final season here in the playoffs in order to lock himself in as he's battling with the lap car of Blaney. Harvick, pretty happy with this car, but still has some work to do. Bubba Wallace running fourth on the racetrack right now, mathematically locked in to the Final Four with the victory in the opening round, but Bubba's pretty happy. He's still points racing and still having some fun, but he is already looking forward to Auto Club in 2 weeks' time as he will race for a championship. Denny Hamlin running fifth on the racetrack right now. You can see trying to hold off some of those lap cars. Denny Hamlin coming into this race 7 points out, 10th in the point standings. He must win or at least score some serious points out here at Bristol in order to lock himself in. Miraculously, Hamlin does not have a victory this season. It's just looked a little off this season, but Hamlin has driven his way up from starting outside the top 10 well into the top 5. Right now on the racetrack, he is fifth, but over 9 seconds behind the leader. Green flag pit stops have begun. You can see the 3 and the 48 both ducking down pit road here on lap 110. The 99 is also down and away. Jimmy Johnson slow on the racetrack here on lap 126. You can see Johnson ducking onto pit road. Our leader, he's holding on to it. Green flag pit stop still happening out here at Bristol. Our leader, Johnson, pits from the lead. You can see just how much slower that 32 of Kurt Busch is. All of these lap cars getting their laps back. Again, Bubba Wallace actually closing the gap on his teammate. Wallace has yet to pit as well. Denny Hamlin, third on the racetrack, has pitted. So has Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, and Noah Gragson. So once Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace pit, it will hand the lead over to Denny Hamlin, who is 5 seconds back right now. But at this rate, Denny Hamlin might catch and pass the 32 of Kurt Busch the old-fashioned way. Not sure this strategy is going to play out well for the 32 of Kurt Busch. Here comes Kurt Busch on lap 151 with 49 laps to go, pitting from the lead. He will hand the lead over to Bubba Wallace, presumably. New leader at the Bristol Night Race with less than 50 laps to go. Denny Hamlin inherits the lead after driving up through the field. Jimmy Johnson second right now, less than a second back. You can see him in that 84 car in the picture right there. Alex Bowman third with Noah Gragson running fourth. Michael McDowell fifth. Ryan Blaney sixth. Only 6 cars on the lead lap with Carson Hocevar seventh on the track in that 77, just losing a lap right there. Brad Keselowski 8th. Tyler Reddick is 9th. Christopher Bell is 10th. You could see cars with fresher tires starting to pass the 11 of Denny Hamlin, who has already made his green flag pit stop. But now the question is can Hamlin hold off the 84 of Johnson? Johnson's been running a little bit better than that 11 car all night long. A couple of veterans up here fighting for the victory at the Bristol Night Race in the closing laps. Here comes Jimmy Johnson alongside the 11 of Denny Hamlin. As they're battling with a little over 40 laps to go at the Bristol Night Race. Give it to Jimmy Johnson here at Bristol. Kurt Busch getting his lap back from Jimmy Johnson the hard way. Busch in 2311 did not have a winning strategy tonight. They stayed out longer than anyone else on the racetrack. And now Kurt Busch trying to get his lap back just simply ran out of time. But Johnson leading by over 8.5 seconds over Denny Hamlin in second. Noah Gragson third on the racetrack right now. Alex Bowman, the fourth place car right in front of Johnson. And you can see Kurt Busch trying to get his lap back. But Johnson using the 48 as a pick. Johnson putting everyone a lap down now. 2 laps to go out here at Bristol. Jimmy Johnson simply dominating. Got a victory earlier this season out at Irwindale, California. Now he comes into another short track and he will see the white flag presented by Wraith. Jimmie Johnson will pick up the victory at the Bristol Night Race. Second victory of the season, and he will catapult himself from 6 points out of a Final Four spot. Jimmie Johnson wins the Bristol Night Race, and he will race for an 8th championship in 2023. Johnson getting the victory over Denny Hamlin in second by 7.5 seconds. Noah Gragson coming home third. Alex Bowman fourth. Only 4 cars on the lead lap with Brad Keselowski fifth. Kurt Busch sixth. Michael McDowell coming home seventh. Carson Hocevar coming home eighth, with Justin Haley coming home ninth, and John Hunter Nemechek rounding out your top 10 out here at the Bristol Night Race. Dominance for Jimmie Johnson, second victory of the season. But most importantly, he will race for a championship, the second driver to lock himself into the Final Four, joining Bubba Wallace as 2 of the 4 drivers who will race for a championship as we head to Talladega next week. Want to give you a look at the upcoming schedule here in the ARN Thunder Series. Bristol just getting the checkered flag. We head to Talladega next week for the semifinals, and then Auto Club Speedway to crown our champ. At least one driver will lock in on points alone. Who's it going to be? You'll have to come back next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern right here on kick.com/Hey Alan Bailey. As we saw a wild race out here, only 4 cars on the lead lap. Wild. Just bonkers that Jimmie Johnson had that impressive of a lead over Denny Hamlin in second, Noah Gragson third. 3 playoff drivers finishing 1, 2, 3 out here at Bristol, but everybody from 5th on back at least 1 lap down. That's what a green flag pit cycle will do for you out here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Want to thank you so much for joining us out here for the 3rd race of our 5-race playoffs. We'll see you next week at Talladega. Who will race for a championship? You'll have to come on back to find out. For everyone at iRacing, the American Racing Network, and the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway, I'm Alan Bailey. We'll see you at the track. Good night, gearheads.